people think the world's gone to hell, that it's gotten so violent.
Los Angeles is a total dumpster fire.
Have you been tracking this Epstein stuff?
Update about Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been released.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. Happy Friday. We got a good one coming up today, y'all. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. That really helps the channel grow, as you guys know. But with that being said, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
France just said get hospitals ready for war by 2026.
France just said that?
France just said that.
What?
He came out, Macron just came out and said, get the hospitals ready for 2026.
We're on their ass, y'all.
They're
doing what they can do.
But also have...
France orders hospital to be ready for war in 6 months' time.
What is this goon still doing, this Zelensky goon? What a goon this person is.
The director revealed in a letter to regional health agencies anticipates 10,000 to 50,000 men in hospital over a period.
They putting human body parts in the kitchen stuff, you know.
I don't know about that. I know where they're putting human body parts into the pig supply and the pork supply. They're disposing of bodies. The Reynolds family used to own 60% of all the crematoriums and moratoriums in the United States and funeral homes, and they would dispose of bodies that way too. Pig farms. Because a pig will dispose. A couple of pigs will dispose of a body in a few minutes, and then they feed that to the populace. Yeah. Don't eat pig.
That you need to raise yourself.
Could not strongly warn people against that enough. Parasites of hookworms are serious things. That's why a lot of Southerners are what Southerners are. Understand something. Southerners and a lot of their speech and their cadence and their rhythm, it's hookworms. 9 out of 10 times.
Really?
1 for 1, they are ruled by parasites. Detox them, their brains turn on, and they're sharp and capable communicators almost immediately. Understand something. Southerners and a lot of their speech and their cadence and their rhythm, it's hookworms. 9 out of 10 times.
Really?
1 for 1, they are ruled by parasites. Detox them, their brains turn on, and they're sharp and capable communicators almost immediately.
I mean, what's the number one? What do they tell us on the classic farm? What is the number one killer of humans? The pigs. Out of all the animals on the farm, the pigs are the ones. That's what they tell us.
Saying, I just want to live after being asked if he's going to retire next season is some of the most eerie shit I think I've ever heard that motherfucker say. Especially after, Kobe and that shit. Like, especially after the way Kobe Bryant went down. And all of the weird shit motherfuckers have been speculating or may have been true saying about the fucking NBA and their top players and shit like that. That don't kind of sound weird, because if I'm a basketball player and motherfuckers hey, you gonna retire soon? I'll be like, yeah, this is probably gonna be my last season. I given the game a quarter of a century, and I'm not really feeling it no more, man. I think I've done everything I could do. I've performed at the highest level. I've had success at the highest level. I've played with some of the best players this world has to offer, and I genuinely enjoyed my time. But, just like they say, man, all good things come to an end, right? That would be my response. And that makes sense, right? But, hey, LeBron, you gonna retire next year? Man, I just want to live, man. I just want to live. Bro, nigga, what are you talking about? You could just say, he could be talking I just want to live my life peacefully when I retire. But I just want to live. Why? What the fuck's gonna happen when you retire, nigga? Who you sell your soul to?
There's going to be a nuclear event on this planet that will go off sometime in the near future that creates the greatest climate of fear that the global population has ever experienced collectively. That's when the space probes show up. Your kids and your grandkids, you're being indoctrinated every Friday night with ancient aliens, because that's exactly what they tell you. They genetically manipulated early man. They started the world's civilizations. They started the world's religions. Now at this critical juncture in human history, they are back to usher mankind into a golden age. That's the coming great deception.
All right, so I was going down the rabbit hole. So I was like, okay, let's see TikTok. I was like, Jews are bad. Get the facts. Okay, chill, TikTok. Okay, Jews are good. Maybe you'll let me see something for that, right? But then I did, okay, blacks are bad. Because no way you about to say get the facts again, right? Of course you wouldn't say it. So then I was like, okay, blacks are good. So then I searched
Cold
that up.
game, y'all.
And it went through. But when I did whites are bad, it still went through. But with Jews,
the rumor is that the reason why President Trump decided to bomb Iran is because Netanyahu told him, if you don't, we're going to bomb them, but we're going to use nukes. And so we bombed the Iranians with a bunker buster just so the Israelis wouldn't use nuclear weapons.
I don't know if people have heard this. You guys know the Chuck E. Cheese theory?
Wait, break it down.
Can anybody tell me why? Chuck E. Cheese. If you look at the slices, why are the slices different shapes? Small, big.
I always thought that was weird.
Okay, you know why? They said when the kids eat the pizza.
Okay.
Kids never really finish their pizza at Chuck E. Cheese. They're running around and eating, then they all go home, right? So there's leftover slices. So you know what to do with the leftover slices? They take the slices, put them back in the oven, melt the cheese over again, and bring it back out.
Okay.
That's why they're different.
Oh my God. So that's just like
allegedly.
That's like mush of everyone else's leftover pizza.
Right.
So that's why the last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, I got fucking sick.
Because you probably was eating somebody else's pizza.
Right.
That sounds crazy.
They're all different shapes. Like
Oh,
some
no.
are like small.
I haven't
some are
been
big.
so
They just
long
take
at a birthday
the old
party there.
slices,
Oh no.
I was
run
like
them back,
12, 13.
put the cheese over it, and then melt it, and then bring it out. Because think about it. You're dealing with a bunch of kids, right? They're going to take one bite and then go play.
They never eat the full
They
pizza.
never eat the full pizza. And that costs them millions of dollars if they're throwing out fresh pizza all the time. So wouldn't that save them or make them a lot of money to do so?
Actually, it would. It saves them.
And then guess who's working in the
It
back
would make that
anyways? A
money.
bunch of teenagers who don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, CEO was on the Epstein files, so at this point, you can't put anything past. He was on the Epstein files.
Right.
But being that he stepped down, if you were just mentioned, you were like, oh, I just took a jet one time. I went to a party. You step down. Unless it's really some shit. You don't want discovery. You don't want to take the whole company down.
Yeah, because if you're current CEO, this is why everybody, right before COVID, everybody stepped down from the CEO position because they didn't want that heat of, stocks crashing and all this stuff. They're like, oh, I ain't dealing with this.
They keep saying that. They keep saying that the stocks are going to crash. This last file drop, they saying everything's going to crash. Even the Trump administration, they keep saying it. It's like, what's on there? And then Alex Jones came out and said something too. Alex Jones is like, yo, I talked to somebody from the FBI and he's like, you don't want to know what's on this last drop. Like, it's honestly, it's going to fuck everybody up.
One day from another, I open my email and it's bombarding that I'm the witch, that I'm eating children.
Can we talk about the pizza? I mean, that must have been stressful.
I am not Satanist, I'm an artist. I invite him for dinner. I used to make these funny dinners called spirit cooking, which I make normal food with the funny recipes.
So people have been arguing about this for years. Back in 2016, WikiLeaks dropped a load of emails, including ones from JP, where spirit cooking dinners were mentioned like it was no big deal. At the time, it was brushed off as art, just quirky performance stuff. But then people went looking, and this is the imagery they found. Style symbolism, ritual-looking setups, and that's when people started to ask, why is it even called spirit cooking in the first place? Then you see Marina popping up at elite art events, celebrity circles, and collaborations, all framed as art. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
The same would be true, let's say, here in Los Angeles around the homeless issue. I think morally, ethically speaking, it is an atrocity that in a country this wealthy, we have people just on the streets. And we should have we should insist on policies that recognize their full humanity, people who are houseless, and be able to provide them the help and resources that they need. But we should also recognize that the average person, doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown, and that we're not going to be able to build a working majority and support for the resources that we need to help folks like that, whether it's drug treatment or temporary housing or what have you. We're not going to be able to generate support for it if we simply say, you know what, it's not their fault, and so they should be able to do whatever they want, because That's a losing political strategy.
He's a skilled word salad guy.
Yeah.
So AOC and Kamala Harris are dumb word salad
Yes.
people. There are no actual warlocks. There's clumsy magicians and skilled magicians, but no one's actually magical.
Yeah.
So the really skilled ones make you think they're warlocks.
Yeah.
And he's a skilled one. They don't do anything, and they don't possess any power, but they're skilled.
Yeah.
So he's a warlock of word salad. He's a word salad warlock where AOC and Kamala just got one of those home magic kits that they bought the weekend before and are clumsily trying to fumble through.
They're like pulling words out of a hat.
They're word salad, but it's not working.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But they're both talking about nothing all the time.
Yeah.
He's just skillfully talking about nothing. So he's a word salad warlock, and they're 12-year-olds who got Marshall Brodine's kit from online and is practicing magic at home using rubber bands.
Because you can tell when Kamala and AOC do it, they don't actually understand what they're obfuscating. They're confused from the start. He knows what he's obfuscating about.
Right, except for nothing ever happens.
Yes.
And he'll never go to a place who interviews him to go, all right, what's the plan?
Yeah.
You keep talking, but I don't know what the plan is.
Think about how life
I heard him say
changing for
nothing.
Americans if we didn't have to pay 30 to 40% of our money to the federal government.
Yeah.
Think about how huge that is. Think about how many people could actually be able to start a family that are maybe too stressed to start a family right now because of economics. Think about how many people would have a better family dynamic because they'd have relief.
Have you been tracking this Epstein stuff?
I mean, I've been reading, as people put out. I haven't been going into the mock-up. Did you see there's a whole mock-up Gmail? It's genius.
A what?
So someone made this website. It's like jmail.com, and you can sign in like you're in his account, and you can scroll through the emails as they're dating, go through the photos. It's all an exact copy.
Are you
So you can search in the search bar like you're searching your emails, so you can type like the name you're looking for and it'll pull the emails. So it's a whole exact copy of it. It's called Jmail.
Holy
Hey, what's up, America? Prince Andrew is arrested over the Epstein files. Oh, yes, that's correct. Former Prince of England, Prince Andrew, has been arrested for misconduct in office over the Epstein files. In a spectacular arrest, police have descended on Prince Andrew and arrested him on his 66th birthday. Now, like I said, this is because of the Epstein files and Prince Andrew's involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. So now the English government will finally probe him, and hopefully this will be one of the first people to go to jail for all the fucking crimes they committed while they were on Epstein Island.
Good.
What I think is funny is that in the United States,
out
they're
this next
clearly
clip.
trying to cover this up, but in England, they're actually arresting people who were on this list. So as much as I don't like the way the English government has been going recently, they're doing more to stop the chomos in public office than our government or most other governments in the world are doing. So this is a great move for justice with the Epstein files. One down, probably 500 to go. But yeah, Prince Andrew was arrested. Holy shit.
Update about Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been released without charge but remains under investigation for misconduct in public office.
I think
He was arrested for like 2-3 hours tops, y'all. Got him a nice burger, some fries, right? Some pizza, probably. You know what I'm saying? Couple hours, grand opening, grand closing, y'all.
got
Breaking
played.
news.
I think it's really a shame. He married an older woman. I think Charlie was a little bit naive. He didn't quite know what he was getting into.
Oh, yeah, that girl will
Maybe
get him.
Erica Kirk is a federal agent, honeypot, potentially. And Charlie, he thought, oh, this nice girl wants to marry me. She's cute. He probably wanted to get married and have kids. He probably didn't think that hard about it. And I think for Erica Kirk, it was just like did she really love Charlie? It doesn't look like it. I feel like it was just a business deal for her. Kind of freaky, man. If my wife was getting on podcasts and smiling and laughing a week after I was murdered, I'd be bummed.
Yeah.
Everyone grieves differently. But is she grieving at all? It doesn't seem like it.
I mean, think about it, y'all. All my fellas out there. Your first piece, right? That was Charlie's first piece. A freaking a pageant winner or a pageant contestant, whatever. Like, remember your first bad one, not even your first, just your first like 10, your first dime freaking drives you crazy, y'all. You'll do anything, right? You'll do anything. You're a simp for that first dime piece, y'all. And they walk all over you. They know what they're doing. They walk all over you.
I came home from high school and my dad was home. World War II vet, 6 bronze battle stars. And I come home and told my dad, Dad, we got to fight in Vietnam. My dad goes, why? Why do you think that? I said, we have to stop the domino effect of communism. If we don't stop them there, the communism's going to go all over the world. You know what my dad did? He looked at me and he said, is that what they're teaching you in school? I said, yeah, that's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard.
And it ended up
my
being
dad
true,
looked
right?
at me and said, we're not there to stop communism. We're there because somebody's making big money.
Dad was right.
Why is the hamburger so much cheaper to Walmart or a big box store? They mix a lot of trim, the trimmings from other meats, other beefs from Brazil or other countries. They'll bring that in. That stuff comes in at $2 a pound or less, and they grind it with the American hamburger, call it all American. I don't think they have to put that in the label and sell it as American hamburger.
Once again, I have found the FBI Disclosure 2007 PDF file symbols, and you guys won't guess where it is this time. Now, if you pay attention to where it says organ donors, look at the symbol right there. You see it? There it is again. You guys, how does that symbol keep coming up? Now, this time, it has to do with organ donating? You can't make this shit up, you guys, because it really makes you wonder why they press you to be an organ donor in the first place. Black market, anybody? Now, if you guys have seen my other videos where the FBI disclosure showing the PDF file symbols, that's literally what it looks like, and it's all over the place. Now we see it's linked to possibly, allegedly, organ donors. Totally makes sense. Also, you guys see that in the Epstein files now, it's not only just the trafficking, but if you look into Zorro Ranch and what he was doing there, it's a whole black market, crazy experiments going on with organs and all kind of stuff. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below.
If you go to y'all, I see that symbol everywhere. I got a 1-year-old boy, y'all, so I see it on his clothes. I see it on the cartoons. I see it on his sippy cups. I see it on his spoons. I see it on his bowls. I see it everywhere, y'all. And then that I have a boy, the amount of space, aliens, and dinosaur propaganda on everything, on clothes, on on TV shows, everything is for boys is space, aliens, dinosaurs, everything.
Jacob Frey, the same mayor who kissed the golden casket of George Floyd, he won re-election against a Somalian because he appealed to one side of the ancient tribal conflict that's happening over in Mogadishu. And he won because he aligned himself with the correct Somalian tribes within the large Somalian voter base.
Maaga Egawa Jacob Frey.
Jacob Frey, white guy, beats the Somalian candidate by outmaneuvering his tribal alliances within Minneapolis in the country that is the United States of America.
Nice job, Jacob.
So we have tribal conflicts we're voting on the basis of in our country that has nothing to do with us, that dictates politics and who's our representatives. Not that the representatives probably even matter.
Are you all paying attention? Every single time. This is Jojo Siwa. And it's very interesting in this video that she shared, the pizza boxes are black and white, the checkerboard pattern. Right there for everybody to see. And the fact that this was shaped in a bow tie type pattern, this pizza. But again, there's probably nothing to this at all. She's probably just being funny, joking around, right? And showing how much she loves a certain food. That's probably all that there is to this. This is just a promo. I'm sure there is nothing more to this at all, right? I don't know what is going on. I really don't know what is going on anymore. There is a lot of weird and eerie and strange things happening, especially after certain files were revealed.
So Ellen DeGeneres' old DJ name Twitch tweeted back in 2013, Ellen has eaten at least 12,000 pizzas in her life, LOL, at the Ellen show. Bro, I actually cannot believe this, guys, because as you know, it came out that Ellen was definitely one of the most prolific cannibal, which that is not fully evidence, right? But a lot of people do believe that. I believe it. Something was always creepy about her. As you know, there was that old clip from the Oscars where she's walking around handing out pizza. All the celebrities are like awkwardly laughing, eating it. Why is she handing out pizza? What does that have to do with anything? You're hosting the Oscars. What, like, why are you they already have food? Like, what's the joke there that you're handing out pizza with the pizza man? Like, actually, what is the joke? Guys, let me know in the comments.
Well, their symbolism's their downfall, right? That's the old saying. Symbolism will be their downfall. And they ran its course for a while, but it got exposed. And what's going on now? What are we doing with Iran? We're supposed to bomb Iran this weekend. That's what the predictions are. So that means that's what's going to happen. It might not be this weekend. It might be next Wednesday, but it's going to happen. Big war is about to pop off, and America's right snap dab in the middle with Iran, y'all. One of the powerhouses. It's like they're hitting that eject button. France is coming out saying 40, 50,000 men are going to be in the hospital soon. Get ready for the hospitals, right? It's like we're backing them into that corner, y'all, and they're doing everything they can, right? Backing a dog into the corner, right? That's what it looks like is happening right now.
She ate at least 12,000. Maybe she just really likes pizza. I just cannot even believe this is real. The fact that people keep pulling up these old tweets is crazy, but let me know y'all think about this in the comments.
I'm freaking water, man.
I fucking knew it. I knew Waymo wasn't an autonomous car, self-driving car. Every time I see one, I'm like, no, there's someone behind the wheel remotely that's driving the car. And guess what? They found out that they're just people from the Philippines that are driving the car. Oh, hell no. I'm smelling
I thought it was people in the prisons.
Have you ever seen when India landed on the moon? It's just a probe, right? It's not even a probe. It's like an Atari graphic. All right, let's see it. No, that can't be real. Yeah, that's what they're landing. I want to see what happens when it actually touches down. Wait a minute. That's it? That's so fake.
Savannah's book, which was released in February of 2024, discussed a game she used to play as a kid with her cousin, and it was a kidnapping game involving Nancy. So we pulled the audio that Savannah did of her book. In it, you're going to hear her talk about her cousin Terry, who was, she said, like an aunt to her growing up. Terry's 20 years older than Savannah, so Terry would be 74 right now. But listen to this.
About once a year in the summertime, Cousin Terry orchestrated a kidnapping of my sister and me. It went down like this. The cousins would visit for a few days at our house in Tucson, and then, on the morning they were to leave, Terry would wake us up early, shushing us in the pre-dawn darkness as we made our escape. We would all pile into her rickety station wagon and head north, the sky streaking with bright oranges and pinks as the sun rose over the colorless desert landscape. Somewhere between Phoenix and Tucson, Terry would make a pit stop and let Annie and me call home at a payphone. Mom, Cousin Terry kidnapped us to take us to her house. My mother would feign shock, protest how terribly she would miss us, then assure us she'd drive up to retrieve us in a few days.
This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy.
Eerie. It's eerie. She released that in 2024, talking about kidnapping and her mom and her sister and Savannah, a cousin. I don't know about Cousin Terry. I'm not sure whether Cousin Terry is still in the picture or what, but
they need to
I'm
investigate
not
her.
Cousin Terry is behind this, but I'm suggesting that just the mere discussion of kidnapping amongst the Guthrie family is potentially the kind of thing that could put an idea in somebody's head, could potentially be relevant in trying to track down where somebody first got the notion of a kidnapping and the Guthries. And then you have 3 months ago, Savannah with her mom in Tucson on the Today Show, showing off where they eat, where they hang out. I'm just trying to piece together how this possibly could have even come about.
America, we have lost the plot. Yellowstone ranch food. I'm so done.
I see people with these stickers on their car like that show wasn't that good, y'all. Come on.
This is the future of housing.
People
Would you
are
live here?
absolutely going to hate this house, and that's exactly why I'm posting it. This is Lennar's 350 square foot floor plan. I got one for sale, $1 down, and you know what? Some people hate them, some people love them. So let's see what all the fuss is about. The number that I said is in fact the true number. The home really is only 350 square feet, but you get the things you need, the necessities. You got the fridge, you got the granite countertops, you got the cabinetry, you got the stove, you got the stuff to make it technically a home. You got the main bedroom down here, you got the restroom, which we're gonna check out right now. So the bedroom isn't very large. There isn't even technically considered like a closet, but you got some space to hang up some of your clothes.
Wow.
And you got your shower. By no means a big shower, but it is a shower, and it is better than paying rent. You got your washer dryer connections in there as well. They really crammed everything in there. Here's the part where people really lose their shit though. You do need to take a ladder up to the loft, which we're gonna check out right now. So let's go check out the loft. Here we are up in the loft.
Better
Look,
not have
is
kids.
this home for everybody? Absolutely not. But neither is paying $1,400 in rent to go live with roommates
Well, how
that you
much
don't
is
even like.
this?
A lot of people think that this home is insane.
$1,300 with
What I
roommates?
see is no landlord, no rent increases, and you get home ownership. This is definitely an
Ain't
opportunity.
gonna appreciate.
Is it small?
Might as well as rent.
Yes. Is it different? Absolutely. Is it stupid? It depends on who you ask. I see a
I kind of
home
agree.
in the 130s. Their payments are going to be the 900s. So it might not be stupid. It might be strategy. $1 down, brand new home, 900-ish on the payment for 130s. I don't think you could beat it.
Children.
That's a little too much for me. 900 for that, right? That better include internet, electricity, everything, right? But I mean, if I'm barely getting by, I'm a single dude. I don't got no woman. I don't got no kids. You know, maybe you can live in there with a woman. I wouldn't want to live in there with no kids, right? But, you know, with just you and your girl, or you're by yourself and you're just a bachelor, you're not looking to have a relationship, 20, 21 years old, you're working down this, whatever. I mean, not somewhere I'd want to live for the rest of my life, but to get the ball rolling, right? I wouldn't mind that. It's nice. Got a little loft upstairs, put your TV and whatnot up there. It's not bad. Not for 900 though.
Diagnosed as having autism when they weren't, or they were rapidly diagnosing them before they could even prove that there could be an autism problem. There was a push on families. If you say your child has autism, you can get some funds out of this. It'll be a benefit to us, a benefit to you. Unfortunately, there were sessions billed where there weren't children at all. And then the other crazy part is children did come to some sessions and there wasn't a licensed professional present. So like they showed up at the center and they met with me for an hour, right? Who has no background to help an autistic child in any way.
Please come in. Hi, welcome.
How much is it?
$300.
And then the billing went to the government at full price as if I was a licensed therapist in some way.
The idea that we didn't go to the moon. Which arguments do you think are the most compelling?
That we stopped going. We used to have the Concorde. We no longer have the Concorde. You know, the Concorde was a supersonic jet that could go twice the speed of sound, get you to New York and London in 3.5 hours, and was amazing. We don't have that. It's not that we physically lost the ability to do so. We just don't have the economic driving factor to do so. And so I understand the frustration of, you know, we did this thing 54 years ago and we lost that ability to do it, but we also spent $300 billion in today's money to get us there. That's what I'm frustrated with.
People have all of a sudden started paying attention to a little island named Deer Island in New York. People are talking about how they believe this island hosts hunting parties or Hunger Games type events amongst rich people. Some people have even claimed that after researching this island, their device or devices have asked for their location, which according to them has never done that before. Now, please keep in mind that those are just rumors and speculation, and none of those claims have ever been proven to be true. But I did find it very interesting that this same Deer Island is actually owned by a secret society named Skull and Bones. If you happen to look into Deer Island right here on TikTok, you'll go down an entire rabbit hole. But what do you think? Is this island completely normal, or is something else happening here?
The northeast side
carved out of limestone that dates back centuries, you'll find Subtropolis, the world's largest underground business complex.
Okay, so let's talk about it. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about Subtropolis as if these are the underground tunnels in LA. Let me assure you, they will never show us that. But that does give us an idea of what it could be like. And if you don't believe in the underground tunnels in LA, just listen to this story. In the 70s and 80s, there was a house bought by Mitzi Shore on Sunset Boulevard. And yes, Shore is in the mother of Pauly Shore. She's the owner of the very popular comedy club, The Comedy Store. Like every comedian you know has played there. The house was called Crest Hill, eventually became kind of a hub or like what we would probably think of as like a content house now. A ton of comedians would come to stay, like they would have their own room and live there for a while. Alan Steffen, who was there during that time, he used to be the showrunner for Roseanne, even called Crest Hill the frat house. And Mitzi saw herself as like the den mother. And a lot of people report that if you go to that house, there's an underground tunnel that leads you from that house to the Comedy Store. Even Tana Moja talked about it on the Canceled podcast because I'm pretty sure she looked at that home to buy. But there's a lot of bad juju around it if you look it up. A lot of unalivings. Lots of shady stuff happening with comedians in the 70s and 80s, and still probably now. That's just one semi-confirmed underground tunnel. I am so sure there are so many more. What do you guys think?
Do you know why vampires are so prevalent in port cities or towns surrounded by water? Do you know why?
I don't know.
Well, in olden days, if somebody from a ship would go missing, they would go missing, but maybe nobody would miss them. Because let's say you and Joe were on the same ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Joe was gone one day. Maybe he fell victim to a vampire, maybe not, but he was gone. And maybe it's a while before you think about Joe again, right? Because it's been a while since you've seen him.
Yeah.
But then you think, well, I saw him just like the last time I was in port, but did you really see him the last time you were in port? Or did you just think you saw him? Or did you see him and he's no longer just Joe?
How would you know?
Exactly.
But that doesn't make him a vampire.
But it could, because in a port town, you're less likely to be missed.
So vampires are turning other people into vampires because they know no one else would be looking for them or missed?
Well, it's also a good way to feed. Think about it.
Just because you work at a port, though, or work on a port doesn't mean you won't be missed. But does that...
No, but think about the type of people who were working on boats.
Gone for long periods of time.
Exactly.
If you go on top of the Great Pyramid in Egypt, for example, which is this massive structure, it's 2 million stone blocks. Because of the weight that's placed on them, they're piezoelectric. Because of the pressure, they actually produce an electronic charge to them. And being in the middle of the desert, they just build up static electricity naturally. You can go to the Great Pyramid and the Egyptian authorities won't let you do this anymore. But if you were to climb on top of the pyramid and be at the top, you were to take a wine bottle and you just put a wet rag over it and hold it up, sparks will start shooting off of it from the buildup of static electricity just from the area. Well, if you were to take that and you were to put a capacitor in the Great Pyramid, like say in the King's Chamber, in the sarcophagus, if you were to put a capacitor in there with superconductive substance, what it'll do is over a period of hours or several days, it'll just start to build up an immense amount of electricity. It will then start to shoot out of the top of the pyramid eventually, and it will start to be broadcast into the region.
And there was the one where a child was praying to Jesus. Did you see that one, Jen?
No,
she said she felt God's presence next to her when she was in bed. She knows that Jesus watches over her and he helped save her life. And then he writes, whoops. In response, Jeffrey Epstein says, you should dress up as him when you see her.
Jeez.
You should dress up like Jesus when you see her. What the this is demonic. This is clearly demonic.
I'm seeing that alcohol use is down in the United States. Kids are on their phones. What's the more powerful drug? What's the most powerful drug on earth right now? Like, I think we're really getting into the point where we're going to start to see this. Like, the phones are the most powerful drug on earth right now.
We're all addicted.
Right. Everyone's addicted.
We're all addicted.
And everyone is going to understand what it's like to be truly lonely as a result of that. Everyone's going to get to that, what we call the jumping off place in the big book. Everyone's going to get to that point of like, I can't put my phone down and I want to put it down and I put it down, but I pick it back up and I tell myself I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get on social media. I'm not going to do this. Everyone is experiencing what it's like to be powerless right now.
And I tell everybody, when you first get in the dog, man, it's two things you got to look up. Number one, is a website called the North American Dog Man Project.
Now, hold on. Before you continue, I just want to make sure I'm picking up what you put down. You said dog man?
Dog man, bro. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but all throughout history, you hear about tribes of humans that had dog faces. Now, Christopher Columbus, his brother, he wrote about encountering a tribe of people that had dog faces. There's a lady named Catherine Cross. On her tombstone, it says, killed by human wolves. Her husband went crazy trying to explain to people that he seen human beings, they did some sort of ritual, and something to do with the moon, and they turned into wolves, and they eat people. So this is real facts.
So Lake Austin used to be this, it's still very good for bass fishing. They have big bass on Lake Austin. And the people that live on the lake, you know, the highfalutin folks, didn't like all the weeds.
Yeah.
So they brought in carp.
Oh.
And the carp ate everything. So now the place looks like the bottom of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's like all the vegetation is fucked. And so the bass don't have a lot of places to go. Like, you know, where I live, people go to the docks. Like they cast to the docks, you know, and they fish near people's docks because that's like the only cover that these fish have. And so there's talk of like submerging like trees or, you know, dropping things
creating
down.
structures.
Yeah, creating structures. And then there's people that are opposed to that because like, you know, you have your, you know, the wakeboarders and all the people that like to like recreation on the water. They don't want anything that could possibly fuck up their boat.
Yeah.
You know, but like they already fucked it up by bringing in the carp. Like, and you can't get the carp out. Like, how are you going to kill the carp?
Just started renaming the cities and countries. California will stay the same.
That'll remain. This is my favorite here.
Yeah, that's, you know, if everything goes right. A few years from now, a lot of people will be vacationing down in the sunny Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah.
Can In-N-Out with you?
No, In-N-Out's amazing. That's God's gift to us. For everyone in Texas, I'm so sorry, but In-N-Out is a million times better
they're
than
in Dallas
Whataburger.
now.
No, they're in Dallas. They're in Austin. They're in New Braunfels.
Those Whataburger people they're drinking the Kool-Aid.
If you're comparing Whataburger, you got to compare it to like McDonald's, Burger King.
Oh, it's better.
In-N-Out's a different show.
Okay. Now, I know fast food, whatever, but if you're ever in the mood for a burger, y'all, I was a big believer in that. In-N-Out is 10 times better than Whataburger. Whataburger sucks, right? Little rant time. I saw a TikTok, y'all. TikTok of some construction worker saying this is how you're supposed to order at Whataburger, right? I'm going to give you guys a secret, y'all, because this burger is 10 times better than In-N-Out. Now, you can't go to Whataburger and say, let me get a double burger with cheese. Go to the window, right? This is how you got to order it. Say, let me get a double burger with cheese or a single, whatever. Toast the outside buns, right? They toast the outside. No mustard. Add light mayo. Add ketchup. Grill the jalapenos. Grill the onions. You guys go do that today for your Friday night, y'all. Saturday night. And you come back and leave me in the comments. Is that burger better than In-N-Out? It is 10 times better than In-N-Out, y'all. Order it like that. 10 times better than In-N-Out. I know I'm going to get a bunch of comments. You're a sellout. You eat that, whatever. Y'all, this is entertainment purposes only. I'm over here entertaining y'all. Sometimes I get a burger, y'all. I got a pregnant woman. She wants a burger. We go get Whataburger. She's from Texas. She loves Whataburger. That's how you order your Whataburger, y'all. And I promise you it's better than In-N-Out.
He's going to go to Haiti.
Probably going to lose some subscribers for that.
And when he does go to Haiti, it's going to be game.
While they're drinking a beer, right?
He knows America. They gonna get in their feelings about this situation with Speed. They're already in their feelings. I've already seen it in my dreams, which he is. When he goes to Haiti, it's gonna be very powerful. And basically America is gonna change. Like the way people are gonna view Haiti and everything's gonna change, bro. Because Speed is basically like the internet right now. He has all the youth, he has everybody watching it, and he's going and showing people like, hey, damn, Africa is actually like beautiful. Africa is not this bad that Western America tries to do or tries to make, right? So when he goes to Haiti, which I've seen in my dreams, it's gonna be game, right? Because now America and everybody inside of America, right, all the youth are gonna be like, oh my God, Haiti's actually beautiful. When they see the beautiful side of Haiti, right? when they see the beautiful ancestral work that people do, when they see the healing rituals that people do, they understand that they demonize Haiti more than Africa. They demonize Haiti more because the Haitian Revolution was more devastating, right? The colonizers was more dysfunctional going against them. They lost more.
There's no.
I mean, we get into that a lot on my second channel, y'all. I'll post a video at the end of Americans moving abroad and realizing, you know, it's a lot of propaganda that goes on here in America. It seems like that these other countries, you know, people go there and live. I'll put that over there at the end of the video. I'll have it pop up for you guys if you guys are interested in the second channel. If not, links down below too. Segovia After Dark.
Depends on like using your phone while you're up there.
You can't be on Wi-Fi. You know, you can't be. We don't sit up there and, you know, watch the game on Super Bowl.
You can't be arguing with people on Twitter while you're flying.
You don't do any of that stuff. So in the back you can, but as far as the limitations up front, one thing I will say is we are a very disciplined group. So below 10,000 feet, unless it has to deal with specific flying, there can't be any casual conversation. And that's the FAA mandate. We adhere to that 100%. Once you get above 10,000 feet, we do have Wi-Fi up there, but we simply use it for navigation and looking at weather and stuff like that. I can't be, you know.
When I was a kid, we were going to get bombed by the Russians, and then it was acid rain was going to murder us. Climate change, it's a fucking joke. It's a lie.
Hey, whatever happened to the hole in the ozone layer?
All the girls had to stop using Aquanet because there was a hole in the ozone layer. Plymouth Rock has been in the same spot with the same amount of water covering it my whole fucking life. The oceans aren't rising. Global warming is bullshit. The earth warms and cools in a cycle because someone's fucking with the thermostat. That's some dad shit.
Well, I mean, I remember in high school, we watched that Al Gore climate change thing. And I remember in high school, we watched that. High schools don't, in one ear and out the other. Oh, I'm trying to go to lunch. What time is the bell going to ring? I'm just watching this because I don't got to do work, right? Take 10 facts from this and write it down, y'all. Those are my days. I don't care what we're watching.
Los Angeles is a total dumpster fire. So Los Angeles is covered with graffiti. It's just garbage and graffiti and trash. Trash, graffiti. Everywhere. The Olympics are coming. We're trying to World Cup, whatever. We're trying to gussy the place up. So it's all concrete. Los Angeles is all concrete and it's all freeway. So it's all tagged. So they hung a whole bunch of fake ivy along the side of the wall, hoping that would prevent the taggers from tagging. But God knows what we pay. I'm sure we pay $7,000 a square foot for this fake ivy that someone could get at Home Depot for $2.99 a square foot. But either way, God knows what it cost a linear foot to put this stuff up. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. They put it up, and the following day, it's been tagged.
Oh, that's great.
It's been tagged big time, right over the ivy. And then the next thing that happened was somebody sent me a tweet, and it's now all the motorcycle gangs. Now, they're not motorcycle gangs as you knew them, Hell's Angels, Sons of Satan and stuff. These are 14, 15, 17-year-old dudes on dirt bikes, which I assume they stole, because I don't think any of those guys went down to the Van Nuys Kawasaki dealership and plunked down $4,400 for a quad, right? Like, that's all stolen, right?
I want to get one of those.
When I look at it, there's kids in this mix. I mean, there are, looks like 11-year-old, 12-year-old boys, you know. They all come down through the tunnel, which is completely and utterly tagged. Here's my point. Whether it's graffiti or whether it's taking over the streets with a dirt bike, once you hit a critical mass, there's nothing you can do. LA has to just sort of people-proof everything. Like, we don't get streetlights because the people have stolen the wire. And we don't have catalytic converters because people steal the catalytic converters. And then the Dumbo City Council goes, well, this is Toyota's fault. You guys should install a cage on your thing. And then we can't put more wire in the lights of the bridge until we figure out a way to people-proof. There's too many people. We can't people-proof everything. We need to fix our society. Anyone who's ever dealt with rats, you go, we got rats. And you go, well, we got to put some chicken wire up in the vent on the roof because they get in on they come off the tree branch and they get on the roof, then they get in the vent, and then they put a nest there, and then they go, and it's like, oh, and they chewed through the wiring, and they went under the car hood, and they chewed all the insulation up. It's like, Once you have rats, there's really nothing you can do. You can't rat-proof every square inch of your life.
Yeah.
I would love to see, these protests, some very annoying, right? But I would love to see when these Olympics come, they go do an LA style protest out there. And when I say an LA style, they don't protest. You know what they do in LA, right? Study history. I would like to see, that's when they should don't come and clean the city up and act like you care about the people when you guys are going to make so much money off of these Olympics. Do this when this isn't here. That's when I would like to see the real protest, the 2020 protests that they had out there, when that comes, right? That's when I want to see it. Don't act like you care about us just because the TV's out here, just because the world's watching out here, and you want LA to look beautiful. You know what I mean? That's when they need to protest.
They're so creepy. I mean, here are a couple pictures that you can just see these staircases. You go out deep into the woods, and these are like in national parks. I'm talking like thousands and thousands of acres where you don't see anything. And then all of a sudden there just is a random staircase just standing right there. Sometimes they're spiral, sometimes it's just, 10 steps going straight up. It's made out of wood. It's a little decrepit. And again, people have theorized like these are used for some type of ritual ceremony. That different people in the woods, shamans, again, these skinwalkers, that they use these as portals. That if you climb them, it's a portal to a different dimension. It's a portal to hell. It's a way to trap human souls and a way for skinwalkers to feast on the living. Not even going to risk it. I've never seen one. I'm not going to speculate. I mean, you see these pictures of them all the time, and they're fucking so creepy. So the advice is always like, if you see a staircase in the woods, don't climb it.
People think the world's gone to hell, that it's gotten so violent. But the world never got violent. There is no got. The world has been violent since the beginning. Cain killed Abel, man. Cain killed Abel. The third person on the planet killed the fourth person on the planet. We weren't even able to make it to 3 people before somebody was a murderer. At one time, a third of the people on the planet were murderers, right? A third of the people in the hood aren't murderers. A third of the people who own guns aren't murderers. A third of the people in jail aren't even murderers, right? San Quentin, Alcatraz, Folsom Prison are safer than the book of Genesis. You thought Compton and Baghdad were tough? Try downtown Eden when the sun goes down. There was murder and violence at person 3. One couple had 2 boys who had the world to themselves, and one of them was claiming this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us, right? Cain killed 25% of the world's population. That's more than Stalin, Hitler, Idi Amin, Pol Pot, King Herod, Genghis Khan, Manifest Destiny, typhoid, cancer, AIDS, cooties, all combined. Cain killed a third of the people he knew. He knew 3 people. He killed one of them. If you knew Cain, you had a 66 2/3% chance of survival. There's no such thing as the good old days. There was like one good day. It was half a day. Adam and Eve were naked, alone, in an oasis. Lunchtime came. People got hungry. Apples were eaten. Boom, Detroit.
Like, what happened to the good comedians, right? A good comedian doesn't need a yes man behind the camera laughing at every single thing he says, or these podcasts that have all these producers and they're cracking up at every single thing in the background. Like, what happened to the old school comedy podcasts, like The Church of What's Happening Now, right? Just Joey Diaz and Lee Syatt right there getting stoned and just talking and laughing amongst themselves, right? They don't need 30 people in the room laughing for them. Turn me off, y'all. This comedy, I don't even entertain it no more. I used to be a big time, not comedy fan. I never been to a stand-up comedy. I don't think they're honestly that funny, but I love their podcasts.
Why Nancy Guthrie went missing? Savannah Guthrie was told by the elite not to interview Virginia Giuffre. It's all connected, folks. They killed Virginia Giuffre, and now they took Nancy Guthrie to pay back Savannah for doing the interviews.
I was so young. Keelan woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp, And I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey, and Ghislaine said he's coming back to the house, and I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
This is why fast food is getting worse. So a company called Leprino Cheese controls 85% of the cheese in the United States and provides the same exact mozzarella for Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and Little Caesars. Sysco is the largest food supplier in the entire world, providing frozen food that is reheated by over 600,000 restaurants, bars, and other venues. So much so that many restaurants will offer the same exact item packaged differently, like molten lava cakes or spinach and artichoke dip. Lamb Weston is responsible for about 80% of the fries for companies like Popeyes, McDonald's, and Burger King. The only difference is in the cut and the oil, but otherwise the potatoes are exactly similar. Even the cheesecake you get from many sit-down chain restaurants like Red Lobster come from the Cheesecake Factory themselves, who, despite providing desserts for hundreds of chains, coincidentally is one of the only restaurants of scale that actually makes all their food in-house from scratch. So next time you go out to eat and feel unsatisfied with your food, just know you're justified because it's all frozen from the same exact place.
You are eating slop. Most food at big box restaurants nowadays is just seed oil soaked versions of the same thing. We've sort of lost that culinary pop in the United States, and even the slightly better options are all just sort of tasting the same. There's also so many of these chains like Chipotle, Cava, then there's just like, oh, a Middle Eastern bowl place, an Asian bowl place, and oftentimes they just follow the same method. The food isn't unique. This is why we're seeing a renaissance of people cooking at home, making their own meal prep, and higher quality, more niche meal prep services pop up. I also hope we see a renaissance of people going to family-owned, unique restaurants. This is why when I stand outside of Taco Bell with $100, I tell people to go to a real Mexican place. People are just over being served some bullshit when they go out and spend their hard-earned money on food. Let me know what you think about this, and what places do you go to that are still fast casual that you find delicious and good?
See, you just can't eat it every day, y'all. You can't eat it all day, every day like some people do. You just can't. But it's okay to have a Dorito here and there with the sandwich. It's okay. Don't overeat, count your calories, weigh your food. Right? These people, he's probably got a link if you go watch his videos for delivery already packaged like food, right? Which is probably the same as that other food, right? Like if it's your macros, you'll hit your protein, you'll hit all this. Just don't eat it every day. Y'all like the Whataburger thing I said earlier. I'm probably going to get 1,000 comments of people saying you're a sellout eating there. Just can't eat it every day, y'all. That's the problem. Got to live a little bit. You go outside and breathe this air. Right now it's windy out there. You know what they said on the news? Stay inside. The air's not good. I go outside, I'm going to breathe that air. It's not good for you. Pick your poison, y'all. Just don't overdo it. Don't go run a marathon out right now, but if you need to go throw the trash, it's okay. But if you don't try to go out there and run a marathon, that's probably not going to be good for you. The air you breathe, the water you drink, everything, right? There's not one thing in this planet that we're told on social media that it's actually healthy for you. Nothing. This phone, the TV you're watching this video on right now, it's not good for you, right? That's what they tell us. Just don't overdo it, y'all. Pick your poison.
Things.
Everybody
I will
knows
not say
things
right now,
about Taylor Swift.
I will say no things that Taylor Swift and her mother have left messages on other pop stars' phones threatening them.
No, there
Fully.
is like
Fully.
everybody knows this. They'll eventually come out. Come at her. Come at her. Come at him, bro.
Yeah, or her.
Or
It's
her.
2025.
Come at me, bro. I don't even
Come
care.
at Brigitte or Michelle Trognow.
Or me or Tim.
Yeah, but listen, the reality is
She's vicious. She is vicious. And so for Blake and her to be best friends right away, and I've known Blake is really just like, there's just very surface. She's never had to work for anything in her life.
Yeah.
She's not talented. Everything gets handed to her. And she's quite mean to people. Everyone knows
She's
that.
that role she played on Gossip Girl.
She
like
is.
That. Yeah.
That's actually, and that's what I'm saying. And he's actually Deadpool. So, I just knew right away that the power dynamics and the fact that she was like trying to do Me Too, but Me Too was years ago. She did like a little too late.
Right, she was
a little too late to the Me Too party. She came up, she arrived fashionably late to the Me Too party, but the party was over. You know what I mean? Right. And I just went, I think I need to hear a little more here. This isn't like, it's not passing the vibe check. It's like, and then when Brian Friedman, who is like my favorite person right now, just like said F that, like read every single text message online. It was incredible. You got to do it. You actually have to sit down and do it because it's very scary. It's like shockingly like terrifying that Ryan Brown's just.
So the elites took Justin Bieber's and Selena Gomez's baby and gave him to the Kardashians in order to keep him in line. Take with that what you will. With all the stuff coming out about the Epstein files and the monstrosities that everybody there was involved in, an article has resurfaced by Justin Bieber from 2018 where he talks about the depravity that the elites partake in. Basically, Justin was invited to a special party. He was taken into a back room, and in that back room there were masked individuals, and once again, click away if you don't want to hear this, but those masked individuals were drinking red liquid from a, use your imagination, but it's the worst thing you can think of. Justin, rightfully horrified, takes off, but in order to kind of keep him in line, they took his and Selena Gomez's baby and I guess gave him to the Kardashians, which, as a side note, if there was one family that definitely sold their souls to the devil, it's the Kardashians. I have the full article on my X account, which also has a link to the full thing. And it's one of those articles that has been archived, but you can't find literally anywhere because they called him a conspiracy theorist and a nutcase. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore, so I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't know what's real.
What you know about like the Vatican? Because I seen something where they said the Vatican, our souls go to the sun, then the Vatican got them beat down. And
the Vatican comes under criticism because of the Vatican libraries. And they got 2 miles of library that nobody can go to. And the very first case of a crashed UFO, it happened in Vatican territory, and they contacted the Americans to bring the crash craft here to America. All of this can be fact-checked to everybody that's watching. Well, the Vatican came out and made a statement saying that God created more organisms than just us as human beings. And that doesn't mean that God is fake. Because all of the origin stories of supernatural experiences where human beings interface with creatures or beings more superior than us, it's all held in the Vatican Library.
How can someone that believes in Jesus also believe in aliens? Because wouldn't that kind of, I would say if you believe in aliens, wouldn't you be more inclined to believe in evolution?
To believe that the most complicated organism that was made by God as human beings is asinine. Look how foolish we are as humans.
About 3.5 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Did you relapse or have any struggles during that process where you're like, fuck it, and you went back to doing any of that shit? I went back to Panama once and kind of ran a gauntlet down there. And then the last thing, the last straw where it really just sunk in was I tried to kill myself. Oh shit. In my garage. And woke up and like I legitimately tried to kill myself. Left the car running. Oh no shit. Yeah, I was driving an Audi A6 at the time. I drove it into the garage. Came from the Blue Martini, Boca Raton, shit faced. It was actually just a couple of days after I met my wife for the first time, believe it or not. Wow. I pulled in the garage, leaned the seat back, left the car running, closed the garage door. Don't remember it, but woke up in my bed, in my whole fucking condo at the time smelled like gasoline. And I was like, what the hell? What is that? And I went downstairs, saw the couch, and I had a gun that I don't carry down there. So I don't know if I was going to try to shoot myself or not. But then I was like, what the fuck? My clothes were all down there. And then I went and I was like, where is the smell coming from? I went to the garage door, that goes into the house. I touched the handle. It was hot. And I was like, oh shit, still hammered, and fucked up on drugs. Thinking, well, there must be a fire in here or something. So if I open the door, I'll probably just get blown away. So I opened the door, nothing happened. And I saw my car running. And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked in the car, my seat was reclined. And my phone was in there and there was some texts.
This right here was.
I get the common denominator with that, usually, I'm not going to say always, under the influence. Under the influence, y'all. That is a common. If he was sober, that probably wouldn't have happened. Right? He might have had thoughts, but he wouldn't have had action behind those thoughts. There's always a common denominator with those type of situations. Not always, I'm saying, not always. But from what I see, always under the influence. When you hear stories about, attempts on YouTube or something, 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10, under the influence.
Pretty interesting. Y'all check this out.
I'm going to say something that's going to sound wrong the moment you hear it. And this is going to be the hardest conversation about Epstein we're going to have. I'm being honest. The Epstein case was not a failure. It wasn't a failure. It was a successful containment event. And I want you to acknowledge that before we go anywhere. Because there is not a list. Because a list implies that something went undiscovered. Right? Nothing important here is undiscovered. There is girls. There were flights. There were houses, witnesses, settlements, a conviction. There was everything. And after all that, the system continued to do business with them. That's what happened. It's not even ignorance. It's literally an evaluation they conducted. And there's a sentence in all of this that you're not really supposed to say. That some crimes are tolerated because stopping them would destabilize the people who run things. I want you to understand they're relational inside of the system they live in. That's all they are. Relational inside of the system they live in. And that's the one sentence that's radioactive and you never get to hear it. Because the media wants you to believe that there's danger in what's hidden. Right, it isn't. There's danger in what's known and absorbed. Because once you realize that, you'll stop asking who's on the list. You'll say something much more dangerous than that. I want to hear more dangerous speech out there. What else is being allowed because it's cheaper than stopping it? That's what I want you to talk like. Because that's the one question that gets people cut off stage all the time. So let me make this more uncomfortable for you. Because I'm being honest with you. This will be the most serious conversation about Epstein we're ever going to have. The women are still here. They are. They were never the missing evidence. They were the inconvenient version of proof. Their existence should have ended everything, but the fact that it didn't means that the system already made its choice. And that choice is not about guilt. It was about cost. So the media goes even further than this, right? Because there's a sentence that they could have said by now that I'm going to say for you, okay? I'm going to say for them. If a predator is rich enough, mobile enough, and socially insulated enough, there was no reliable mechanism in modern civilization that could stop them early. Guess what they can do with them? Settle afterward, litigate later, reframe the story, and move on. That's all they can do. And that's not a bug. This is literally the design limit of this society. Because no one at the top is panicking, but I want you to understand why. Because exposure does not threaten power. Right? It doesn't. Exposure to power is just bad weather to them. Recognition does. Recognition forces the admission that justice is conditional. And once that's admitted publicly, the story holding the system together collapses, right? But that's why the conversation is so childish too. I want you to really get your head around this. Names, lists, speculation, drama. But if we all stay with the adult conversation for more than 10 seconds, people might realize something irreversible. So I'm going to say the most irreversible thing that you could ever hear right now. We do not live in a system that prioritizes preventing harm. We don't. We live in a system that prioritizes surviving it. Epstein did not expose the hidden underworld. No. He exposed the upper boundary of accountability. He showed exactly how far harm can go before power says that's enough. That's all he showed. And that boundary is actually much further out than anybody can admit. Than anybody even wants to admit. So when you hear somebody say, why won't they just release everything? Why won't they just come forward? Well, understand what they're really asking for. Understand what's really going on. They want reassurance that this is still just a normal scandal and a normal ending. That's what they want. But it isn't, right? This was a systems demonstration. I want you to lock in. This was a systems demonstration and the system passed. It just takes away your last comfort, right? Your last comfort. That if something is bad enough, someone else is going to stop it. But history says otherwise every single day. We do not have a system that could check an Epstein-style character.
Watch man.
So you saying the book of Enoch,
He took Enoch straight to heaven, showed him the 7 layers of heaven. He also told him about the watchman, which etymology, watchman, is exactly what he called them and exactly what they were. They were sent to earth to watch man. Well, they started lusting after women and started having sex with women, thus creating an offspring called the Nephilim. Why do you think he flooded the earth? These were giants. You see what I'm saying? And he banned them to the ocean. He didn't drain the ocean. He didn't drain the ocean and kill everything in the ocean. He banned them to the ocean.
So you saying the giants coming back?
Look it up.
I feel like we learned a lot. I feel like that was a damn banger today, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, we're on the road to 100,000. It seems like it's getting, more of a possible dream than it was when I first started this being an impossible dream, if that makes sense, right? It seems closer. We're closer to it than we are from it, even though we're further from it. You know what I mean? But anyways, y'all, good video today. I enjoyed it. I knew it was going to be a banger when I was, finding the clips. It was just hitter after hitter after hitter, y'all. So, it's Friday. I hope everyone out there has a good day. Not much going on. Probably going to sneak out to Walmart. Baby needs some more milk. That's about it, y'all. Probably get some new razors. I'm starting to get a little razor burn. Need some new razors. Not much going on, y'all. It's ugly out there again today. So, I got a hell of a cleaning to do tomorrow, because tomorrow it's going to clear up, no more wind. So I got to go out there and clean up this mess that we've had this whole week, y'all. So hope everyone out there has a good Friday night. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one tomorrow, y'all. Later.